Oh dear, so good evening.
More characters than EastEnders.
Good evening. Big up to everybody in the chat room. Make sure you are smashing the likes up on the video. Kenny's getting banned when he gets here. Real talk, you're banned, Kenny. I don't know where Kenny is. I don't know where Chig is. Yeah, I'm late. They're taking the mick with it. But Claude's here. Evening, Claude.
Evening, mate. Are you all right? Had a good week?
Yeah, it's been all right, man. I'm all good. I'm all good. And just like that, look at that. Look, Kenny knew he was going to get banned if he was 30 seconds later.
Kenny.
How you doing, Kenny?
I'm all right. I knew I was on for a bang. That's why.
Well, you know what it is. He's been talking to the Arsenal family all afternoon on Twitter, hasn't he?
No. I'm sorry, but I think all three of us, and I think Chig's coming into this chat as well. All three of us have been expelled. I think the pair of you have had your public executions and stonings. I've been basically said I could either take a stoning or just take an expulsion. So I opted for being expelled from the fan base. So I've got no marks on me. Anyway, I was just going to ask you about a week ahead. Now, I've been in my best behaviour. I think Claude's probably in the best way. Lee, have you been behaving yourself this week?
Kenny, I don't ever do anything wrong. I'm just say what I see. People seem to get upset by me for some reason. I don't really understand it, but the dedication to the cause is glorious.
One question to ask as well: has there been are you going to be appearing on any other shows that I need to watch out for? Because I think you appeared in one show, and I don't think I could get that hour and a bit back. I probably should have been watching one of my nightly gangster films. Although I did watch a film with one of my eldest, and I couldn't. That was harrowing. So apart from the week, let's go and talk about some football anyway.
Exactly. What a way to come onto the show, Kenny. Go on, Kenny's coming out swinging today. But yes, we have got a big week ahead, and we have got Burnley tomorrow. We've then got Olympiacos, which is another cup final for us, and then we have Tottenham at White Hart Lane, which is
Emirates actually.
Oh, sorry, it is at the Emirates. You're right, it is at the Emirates.
Oh, yeah.
And big week, big decisions for Mikel Arteta to make. What does he do tomorrow? What does he do on the Tottenham game? Obviously, it is a North London derby. We'll come to that next week anyway. We'll speak more about that next week. But Claude, what do you reckon he's going to do tomorrow? Because Thursday is the biggest game of our season. Let's be honest here, because it's got to the point where we're not going to get in that top four. I think we've all accepted that. But obviously, we still want to finish as high up the table as we can. But what we rested so many players for that Leicester game, and we still look decent, to be fair, especially second half. But do you see him?
Possibly most of the team that played last week, I think, should play or a good confidence win, wasn't it? A good confidence win.
Would you put Saka back in?
Saka comes back because Smith Rowe drops out, doesn't he? Because I think he's injured. I think he's injured. I think. So Saka comes back, and I think mostly you can't fault really any of them last week. To be honest with you, the only thing is, will Willian can he produce it 2 games on the trot? I don't know. I mean, did he just do that last week to put himself out? Yeah, I don't know, but let's see. I think mostly the same sort of team. Thomas Partey probably will play, won't he? He'll play, won't he? Thomas Partey will play. Now he's fully fit, isn't he? So
I'd imagine that
alongside
Partey in there. I think he will.
Probably alongside Granit Xhaka. The back four I'd keep Suarez there because I think he works well with Pepe. I think he works much better with Pepe. Keep Tierney. Yeah, there's no centre halves. Mari. It was the two. Like it was Mari and was it Mari and Louise last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, they done okay, didn't they? I mean, they didn't do too much. I mean, I thought for the first goal, their goal, I thought he could have come towards the player rather than. I thought he made a bit of an error. on Murray should have come towards the player, and he might have closed him down a bit better. But other than that, I thought it was okay. Yeah, I'd keep it roughly around about the same. I'd yeah, maybe give Martinelli a run as well. If somehow try and give him a run. I mean, I don't know what Kenny thinks. I think Martinelli give him a run, maybe. I don't know. Roughly about the same.
See, the thing is, we've obviously got that game on Thursday, which is going to play on Arteta's mind. And
they've had a week off, though, haven't they? They've had a week off, Lee. They've had a week off.
Yeah, for me personally, having a week off could be a bad thing as well as it could be good, because
not only that,
things
the thing about having a week off is that they can put their training things together, see what you can get more of an understanding in training with the players as well. So he's had a week to train with them as well, so that's good as well. So no distractions there, but
there are no excuses as well. Then
I'd keep it roughly around. So you think we should make a lot of change?
No, I think that like it's a hard one, because obviously Thursday is more important than Burnley, but Burnley is the next game. So it's a tough one, because we obviously need to get Thomas Partey back up to some level of fitness, which means I think he will start, because he is going to be crucial if we want to go deep into this Europa League campaign. But what do you reckon, mate? What do you reckon, Kenny?
The thing about it is that one thing is that I'm all for players taking up their opportunities and producing when they do get a chance. And it's going to be the team sheet for tomorrow. William took his chance last week. Pepe's taking his chance, especially he's actually played in a position I didn't really like, but he played very well. Lacazette, since the turn of the year, I think what's happening now, I think he's reveling in the fact that a lot of the young players look up to him, and rather than being like I said, sort of influencer, jokey influencer he was with his mate Guendouzi, the kids are looking up to him and said, look, this is how we want to prepare a football, and they like him very much, and they want him to do well. So he will definitely. I wouldn't be object to him playing at all. In terms of like defence, David Luiz will definitely play as a leader. Obviously, like I said, obviously Mahrez as well. I think he may have a chance, but maybe he might give Gabriel a run at in lieu of Thursday. So in terms of that, I think he may rotate, but the thing about it, Arteta has to have the back in mind as well. It's an outside chance, Lee. I do agree with you 100%. It's an outside chance, but one of the things that probably he's going to look at is the fact that he doesn't want our rivals to get too away from us, because Villa drop points, other teams are dropping points, and if he feels there's an outside chance of us, joining the European place in the 11th hour, I think it's a game that he's got to take seriously. But the only thing he's got in his favour at the moment is that the players who have come in have done a job for him. So you're not exactly right. The only player that really, really, and I say this with a heavy heart, and it's a player that Claude was talking about earlier, is Martinelli. I mean, Martinelli hasn't really done it for us since he's come back from injury. I know he's had chances, obviously, in and out, and he just hasn't been able to keep himself fit enough in order to play in those games. And to be honest, as long as we have a fit Lacazette and a fit Aubameyang, I don't see a pathway into the team for Martinelli. So in retrospect, he's just as unlucky in terms of pathways into the first team as is Balogun and Nketiah. I think that's because in this type of season, when it comes into the business end of the season, or what boxers call the championship rounds, March towards the end, where you can smell something like trying to get in Europe or trying to win a tournament, he's not going to rely. He doesn't feel he can rely on a player like Martinelli. As good as potentially he is, he wants someone who can give us 90 minutes. It's harsh, but the problem is that even though I have my differences as a manager, I do agree with that respect. I take no prisoners. I don't. If you're not ready for a full 90 minutes, then sorry, wait. back in the queue. I only want players who can guarantee me performances of 90 minutes. And I think the manager's got that mindset. He can't wait for Martinelli this season.
Do you not think it's because he's mismanaged him? Because let's be honest here, he was putting out Smith Rowe on that left-hand side for about 5 weeks in a row. And his performances were deteriorating over them 5 weeks. And even then, Martinelli couldn't get into the team. Yeah, even as a sub, 4-0 up against Leeds United, and he still didn't bring him on. Do you not think that that's down to the manager not trying to get him back to the top level?
Oh, I think what's happening is that one of the biggest. I think the problem is that, again, it's one of the reasons why, this expression that Mikel's learning on the job, even though we don't like it, is actually quite true. Is that what Mikel's done? Is that because he's a novice manager, he hasn't managed to marry up his man management skills between getting the senior players on side, getting rid of players who he thinks that are not going to be singing from the hymn sheet, and trying to, like I said, get his young players on board and giving them some sort of how do I say it? Obviously, he's not going to play for them, but give them some sort of guidance into his path. And I think that in this case, it hasn't worked out for Mikel in terms of his handling of the younger players. Balogun has probably got a story to tell. Martinelli is going to feel a bit aggrieved. And also, you're seeing the situation with Saliba as well. So, in that respect, you've got a really good point in terms of his man management issues. But again, people like me, you, Claude, and Chig, and Zach, who's not with us at the moment, and now Asa, we want results. We want them like yesterday, and we're going to hammer the manager if he doesn't give us what we need, which is good results and get us into Europe. So in that respect, it's a results business, and players who he doesn't think are going to be at it or serving well, they're going to be falling by the wayside. And it's always easy to tell a youngster to do the Frank Boff than it is a senior player. You know the drill, Lee.
Yeah, come on.
You say it's a result business, but there's a lot of people in the media and ex-players. I'm just being devil's advocate here, Kenny. Saying this like Project 2023. So, what do you say to that then? Because you're saying we need results. There are people telling us to be we need to be patient, things like that.
Yes.
So, where do you stand on that? I mean, you're saying I'm bringing it up because you said about results. We need. Is it as far as the league position concerned? Is it that urgent as far as the manager's concerned at the end of the season, or is it just see where we are type of thing?
Well, the thing about it is that's the beauty of the whole thing about the Project 2023. First and foremost, when you go in the project, it's never been Arteta's project. The project or process, if we'd like to say it, has always been first it commenced when Arsene Wenger was sacked in April 2018, and the reason why he was sacked is because obviously they're going to use secondary issues like crowd staying away, and the situation where there's division between the fans and it's too toxic. But ultimately, it's because he couldn't get in the Champions League. Now, that was our second season without Champions League qualification. So the process has always been, for me, project re-entry back into the UCL, project stroke challenge for the title and eventually winning. That is the project. That's the process, which means in April 2018, Mikel was Pep Guardiola's assistant, and then a few months later, he applied for the job. And all intents and purposes, he lost by probably a PowerPoint to Unai Emery. That was Unai Emery's remit, was to get us back into Champions League and win the title. Obviously, fans lost patience. Unai Emery didn't have an affinity with Arsenal fans, i.e. not being an ex-player. He dealt harshly with Ozil. Baku became his Armageddon moment. So we said, right, we've got an experienced man. Let's try this player because he's basically got the job because of his links with Man City and because he's an ex-Arsenal player, because he's got recommendations from Arsene, the Iberian, the Iberian mafia, i.e. ex-coaches from Portugal and Spain who think he's the best since sliced bread.
So this is where I get the ump with that though, Kenny, right? Because he can have recommendations from the likes of Pochettino. Our fans take the mick out of Pochettino for winning nothing. Yeah, so his opinion should be irrelevant. Yeah, because he didn't win nothing until he went PSG.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger got sacked or was told to leave before he gets sacked. So again, just because Arsene says he's a great coach doesn't mean he's going to be anything great. As for Guardiola,
hold on, Kenny, hold on. Sorry to butt in, boy. We were told. I mean, I've been told that what the owners, I mean, the people that put him in charge in the first place, right? They specifically wanted him. They weren't. It wasn't a rush job. It was like, be patient. We have to be patient. You've got 3 years to get us build, and you're going to have plenty of time.
100%, and that's exactly what it was, Claude. But the thing is, right, is that you and I know that Sir Alex Ferguson recommended David Moyes to get the job in 2014, and David Moyes was given a 7-year plan because obviously they knew that they had City's money and they had Chelsea's money. Remember, Chelsea only didn't too long win the Champions League, so they had to compare with. And so they said 7-year plan to get us back to the top. Well, they had to, but what's happened? They didn't see any signs of any progress within that first season because he couldn't even get them the Champions League, so he got fired. So the same process has to work with Mikel. Obviously, he's won the FA Cup. People lionise that. Any argument you say, if you go up to a certain person and say David Moyes has done a better season than Mikel, but David Moyes didn't win the FA Cup. But his first full season now, the board surely have to ask themselves a question: have we seen significant progress on the pitch?
And I agree with you. But I keep getting told is that's why they've given him 3 years, because they've given him 3 years to get that right.
The beauty of what you just said, you're talking about certain individuals and certain ex-players. Well, certain individuals, not so much the ex-player that you're referring to, have said they're going to give him another season. But they have also said that if the situation is like this by this time next year, they're going to tap out on Mikel. So what's happening now is that the people who are backing Mikel, they're not actually unilaterally backing Mikel. They're going to see, they're saying, we're going to see as it goes. It's not fair to just give him one season. Let's see what happens in the second season. And we're saying, no, we're not going to risk that because we don't want to have another season where we've got to wash it out. And that's where we differ. But
Kenny, just coming back to that point about West Ham, and about West Ham. If West Ham get top 4 this season, right, for West Ham fans, with all due respect to them, that is like winning the FA Cup, or even bigger. So, and this is where my point. This is where my point comes in, right? If we had got beaten by Chelsea in the FA Cup final, and Chelsea had finished 5th but won the FA Cup, and we had got 4th, right? Would anyone be sitting here saying, "Yeah, but he got the FA Cup"? They wouldn't. They'd be saying, "Oh, well, we've won it enough times anyway, so it don't matter. He lost the final because he qualified us for Champions League." You can't have it both ways as a fan. Yeah, at the end of the day,
they don't want it both ways. What's happening now is that a lot of people at a football club have bought into Mikel. They're very impressed with what Mikel's doing. We can't see it, but they're very impressed. They say that Mikel has had a lot to contend with. Well, boo-hoo-hoo, i.e. he had a fractured dressing room and that he had players to get out of the club. Well, they should have done that 3 or 4 years ago. And they're saying that they can now see a defined way of playing. They can see how he's managed to sort the defence. So one person was on the show today and he said all successful teams, the first thing they do is that they build from the back. And they're saying that there's evidence this season that Mikel's built from the back. That person also said that if people don't rate Mikel, they don't know football. So I'll be pulling up with that. I'll be pulling that.
Yeah, they also said that about Mesut Ozil, who was stinking out Fenerbahce, by the way.
But that person should know better. So I'll be dealing with him later. But this is our show. We're gonna. This is something I'll be.
Okay, let me just stop you there a second. Let me just stop you there 1 second. Yeah, we've played the same amount of games as West Ham United this season, right? West Ham have conceded 4 goals more than Arsenal. Yeah, but they've also scored 6 more, right? So they've conceded 4 goals more. So are West Ham building from the back then? Would we take any of West Ham's defenders at Arsenal? Because working on that basis,
arguably no.
What the people are saying, Yeah, and what the general consensus is when we see it online is that, yeah, he's made the defence better. West Ham's defence has got Cresswell, it's got Dawson, it's got Kucek, or Kufal, sorry. Yeah, and it's got Ogbonna. Yeah. Would any of them four get in Arsenal's starting 11? Because according to our fans, Bellerin's great. So would we take Kufal? I would. You two would.
Oh, 100%.
But on a general consensus, Hector Bellerin is apparently better. The general consensus is that Dawson is worse than any of our centre-backs and Ogbonna's the same. The general consensus is, and it is right in this case, is that Tierney is better than Cresswell. So on that basis, how can they have only conceded 4 goals more than us this season? Are they building a title-winning team from the back as well then? Because I'm looking at it, Kenny, that they've scored more goals and they've got one out-and-out striker in Mikel Antonio, and they've got one on the bench who hardly ever plays. Yeah, he literally comes on as a sub with 5 minutes to go when Antonio's run his socks off. Yeah, they brought Jared Bowen from a championship team. They brought Kufal. I don't know where they got him from. They brought Souček. I don't know where they got him from either. And then they brought Ben Rama. 2 of them players, as far as I know, came from the championship. We went out and signed Thomas Partey for £3 million less than their whole spend in the summer. Yeah, we then added Gabriel to that. We then brought in David Luiz again on a new deal for a year, or activated it. We brought in Danny Ceballos back on loan. We then brought in William. So we outspent them big time in the summer. Yeah, they've conceded 4 goals more than us, and our defence is apparently miles better than theirs. Yeah. But when you look at it, it's not actually miles better than theirs. They've played pretty much the same teams. They've played the same amount of games. And their midfield, would you say their midfield's better than ours? Declan Rice is better than Xhaka. Souček is probably better than everyone else apart from Partey. So they've got 2 players in midfield that are better than most of our midfielders, granted, yeah? Now look at their attack. They've got Gerard Bowen, Ben Rama, and Antonio. Yeah, is that better than Aubameyang, Lacazette, Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe?
Not on paper. Not on paper, no.
Is the manager better? On paper, everyone would say no. So on that basis, how are they having this season then? Is it a fluke? Because their owners are worse than ours. The manager's apparently worse. Their squad has got 4 goalkeepers in, including a reject called Fabianski, who's going to get top 4 this season, maybe. Yeah, who was deemed not good enough for us. And they've got a ball that none of their fans want. They were putting, they were storming the director's box last season or the season before because they don't like them. So how have they gone from near relegation last season? Suddenly in 2 championship players and 2 other players that we had never heard of until they signed for West Ham, and suddenly they're 4th.
They've worked harder. That's the difference. They've worked harder. They've worked harder. We have not worked harder.
Jesse Lingard. I forgot Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard. Would we have
their work rate was like they worked a lot harder than we have. We haven't worked hard enough. That's it.
So he's getting a tune out of them then, surely. He's getting Gerard Bowen is decent. I'm not going to lie, he's a decent player, but will we have Gerard Bowen over Bukayo Saka?
No.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. Will we take Mikel Antonio over Lacazette Aubameyang? No, we wouldn't, would we? Yeah, and that's my point. The point is, people can sit and say, oh, yeah, but what's David Moyes? He didn't win the FA Cup. Cool, he hasn't won an FA Cup. Well done, whatever. But guess what? If David Moyes gets West Ham into the Champions League and we finish outside Champions League, that's an absolute disgrace. Based on the amount of money they spent in the summer compared to us, the manager that they've got who's apparently nowhere near good enough for any top team, who failed in Spain and at Man United, although he didn't get long enough at Man U for me. Yeah, he should have had till the end of the season or maybe first window of the second season. Yeah, and he's now got a squad of players that are consisting of 4 goalkeepers, Jesse Lingard, Mark Noble, and a whole load of other players that we ain't looking at saying, well, they're good. There's maybe 4 players at that club that you go, yeah, the decent quality footballers. Yeah, so how are we failing so badly?
Yeah, but you know, with David Moyes, don't you think if he'd have took that job, if he took that job at the wrong time, I think he'd have done a better job at Man United if he took it. If he took it now.
Yeah.
So I disagree with you on that point, Cord. But I agree. And the reason why I say I disagree with you on that point is because one of the reasons why David Moyes failed at Man United, it wasn't because of like Sir Alex. It was his mentality. His mentality is that he probably spent too long as an Everton manager, where Everton spend a lot of time without the ball. So if you look at Everton, what they're doing, they used to like go on a lot of cross country runs, and basically like they used to spend a lot of time running without the ball. Now he's got the Man United, where the owners from Man United to be on the front foot, play the inspirational style wingers, and let the opposition worry about Man United. But David Moyes, when he went to Man United, worried too much about the opposition. Also, another thing that David Moyes did really wrong when he was at Man United is that when you're at a big club and a team's successful, the reason why a team's successful is because of inclusivity. I.e., someone who doesn't always play has to be filled part of the squad. Plus, he has to be told, right, you're not playing this game, but in 5 games' time, I'm going to need you, get ready, and blah, blah. Moyes couldn't do that. But in terms of what he's doing at West Ham's kind of his level, because what's happened, if you look at how West Ham play, sometimes they do have an inferiority complex when they play the teams, but what's happened is that players who are just coming up to a level can buy into it. And I think that's why West Ham have been successful, because they've got a clear style of playing. We don't have a clear way of playing. What's happened? It changes all the time. 1 minute it's a back 3, then it's a back 4. 1 minute we got right-footed players playing left back, and then we know that our right back's not at it. So what we do is we weaken the team by playing at right back and playing with a right-sided centre back who basically can't deal with overloads. So we spent loads of times getting mullered. He didn't fit, and that's what's really done our season. Then what's happened is that he persists with certain players because he thinks he can get the best out of them. Then all of a sudden they get injured and he has to think on his feet. He says, "Oh, I've got a player called Smith Rowe here. Let's change the tempo." He stumbled upon something. Everything this guy doesn't seem to me like it's been planned. It seems like he stumbled onto it, which means that is what an inexperienced coach does when they're learning the job. They learn and make their mistakes. We're Arsenal Football Club. We can't afford to have this happening. We need to be challenging, especially when we've got better personnel than what we had in Wenger's last year, and arguably in Unai's 18 months. So we have to see better results.
I'm just looking at the league table from last season. Yeah, West Ham finished 5 points ahead of the drop zone. Yeah, Aston Villa finished 1 point ahead of the drop zone. It's unbelievable. Yeah, they literally, West Ham have gone from 16th in the table. They've gone and signed Benrahma, Jared Bowen, Kufal, and Souček. Both of them came from Slavia Prague, by the way. Yeah, Slavia Prague. Would we be going shopping at Slavia Prague? We wouldn't, would we? But guess what?
Lee, maybe we should be doing that. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's a problem we have at Arsenal Football Club. And that is the mentality now, since Arsenal's been at the club, and the mentality in Europe. We've seen Liverpool. All right, Liverpool going for a bad patch. But that's not down to their injuries. That's down to the stubbornness of Klopp. But we're not Liverpool fans. And we don't care. So that's none of our business. But I'm talking about the fact that when Liverpool is successful, Mane, Southampton, Jordan Henderson, Sunderland, Robertson, Hull, Milner, Man City on a free. You've got the best players, gems for England. They're not caring whether they cost a lot of money. They're saying, right, I need this identity in my team, and this is how I'm going to win games, because I've got someone who can basically start the evolution in my team. I.e., someone like Jordan Henderson, where he was there from the beginning, and I want Jordan Henderson to be there when I'm walking on the moon, because he is my identity. We don't have that at Arsenal, and that's the reason why we don't have at Arsenal, because we're too busy trying to sign Carlos Kickerball from Europe when these gems are right in front. No, it's true though. It's true.
Yeah.
And that's
do you know
the
what,
problem.
Ken? Do you know what though? I think another thing is when we're signing these players from abroad as well, are we checking their characters, not just how they play, their real are they being studied properly? Their characters on the pitch.
We used to. When Wenger first came in, we used to.
Are we doing that anymore? Because you can buy a player, but you don't know what his mental state or are we checking all things like that when we're buying these players?
Well, I think the problem is when you buy foreign players into the side, that's all well and good, but you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to say, I'm buying this player because I need this, and he can give me that. Now, everyone talks about our Chelsea and Man City and Manchester squads. You look at what Chelsea did under Mourinho. All right, he bought a lot of front players, but what's happened? He had a plan for Carvalho. He had a plan for Ferreira. You know what I mean? He had a plan. Obviously, Drogba was there before he was there, and Petr Cech was there before. But he had a plan, and that's what all I want is a plan. Tell me what you're doing, Arteta. Tell me what you're doing, Mikel. I want to know what's going on. I want to know how you plan to play. I don't want to see little snippets. I want to see some evidence of the finished article, at least this season. Not this chopping and chaining, you learning the job and making it up as you're going along. Because that's exactly how we play sometimes. And that's why our results are inconsistent and unacceptable. Because of that inconsistency, we've lost 11 games this season and we've still got 11 left. So, you know, we're praying that there's no more losses.
And that's the thing. Like for us to equal Wenger's worst season on points, I think we need another 8 wins and 2 draws. Yeah, I think it's 8 wins and 2 draws. It might be 7 wins and 2 draws actually. I think it's 7 wins. Hang on. No, it's not. It is. It's 8 wins and 2 draws because we lost to City and then we beat Leicester. So and we needed 9 and 2, and now it's we've got a win. So we need 8 and 2. We need 8 wins, 2 draws to equal Wenger's worst ever points total.
I'll tell you what's thrown at me. I've seen thrown at me, and I've seen it in a lot of these podcasts as well. I've been to. We get thrown at. Arteta has addressed 2 major issues in our team. Right, he's what we've always needed in the midfield and the centre half. And I don't know what you boys think of that. He said that. And they're saying that Unai, Emery, and Wenger haven't addressed that. What do you lot say to that then?
Unai Emery got the best of that. Unai, if you look at since Arteta's,
what they're saying, those 2 issues have been solved by only Arteta that weren't solved by Wenger.
Let's talk about the midfield. That you say it's been solved. Well, the player that he's brought to service, with the greatest respect, has been injury free. What he's done to Ceballos is that we got a Joey Cole situation with Ceballos, where Ceballos was this player. It was meant to be this creative spark, but what he's done is he's got Ceballos to do the dirty jobs at the expense of what we really need, which is some bit of creativity. Hence the fact that we're trying to sign a creative player. We had one, only you've done a Mourinho on him. And which is what's happened to Joey Cole. So in that respect, I argue. In terms of defence, I can say is that because of the too much chopping and changing, because he refuses or can't deal with the right back situation, we're still not seeing the best out of defenders. And that's our best defender, whether you like it or not, it still is David Luiz. So how has he sorted out defensive midfield?
Well, no, that's what I get. I mean, I'm hearing explain.
People think we've sorted the defence out because we concede less goals. The reason we concede less goals is because we don't attack. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Based on how many goals we've scored this season, the Premier League table don't lie. Yeah, the Premier League table does not lie. Yeah, it can lie for a couple of weeks. It can lie for a couple of months. Ultimately, we are sat here right now and we have scored this season 34 goals in 26 games. Aston Villa have scored 38 in 25. Yeah, Tottenham has scored 42 in 26. Liverpool 47. West Ham have scored 40, so that's 6 more than us. Everton have scored 39. That's 5 more than us. Chelsea, they're currently in the top 4 right now. Amazing what happens when you pot a manager in it. They scored 42. Yeah, Chelsea's defence has conceded 2 goals less than ours. Yeah, but they've scored 8 goals more than us. Now, if you go down to the teams below us, in terms of how many goals we've scored, albeit Leeds have conceded more than they've scored, they have scored 43 goals, which is 9 more than us. You know, Crystal Palace have only scored 5 less than us. You know, Newcastle are absolute tripe. They've only scored 7 less than us. You know, it's mad. Fulham, Brighton have got less losses than Arsenal, and they're sat 16th. They've got less losses. Yeah, it's actually staggering the levels, because when you look at it, you've got Everton sat in 5th. They've got a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, they're 1 point behind Leicester in 3rd. Yeah, I don't know who the game in hand is, but they're 1 point behind. They'll be 2 points off 2nd. That's Everton. Everton, with Alex Iwobi in their team. The same Alex Iwobi deemed not good enough for Arsenal. Yeah, the same Everton that spent less money than us in the summer and got 3 midfielders in their team, which has rejuvenated that whole team. Yeah, the same Everton that have got Duncan Ferguson working with a young English striker on his heading ability and his hold-up play and his running down the channels. All of a sudden, Calvert-Lewin looks amazing and their midfield's fucking popping out, fucking pass. They signed 3 players, in fact, all 3 of them were linked to Arsenal. James Rodriguez, Decore I would have took in a heartbeat, and Allen. And they got that for less than we spent on Gabriel and Partey. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? The difference is they got Ancelotti. I mean, not being funny. Would these players work with Arteta? I'm not being funny. If we'd have bought them players with Arteta, I still think we'd be struggling. I've just feel
the point. For me, it's the manager, and I know for you guys it is. Listen, if we had Ancelotti in charge this season, do you think in fact, let me ask you this question. This is a better question. If David Moyes was Arsenal manager this season, would we be sat 10th? And if if Arteta was West Ham manager, would they be sat currently 6th, 2 points? Or they got a game in hand, 2 points off 4th with a game in hand.
No, exactly. No.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's for me and for you guys, it's down to the manager, because the manager picks the team, he picks the tactics, he picks the game management. Yeah, he picks his subs, he makes his subs. I see the other day a Chelsea manager come into their club after 1 training session and 2 meetings. They had a style of play against Wolves when he got that job.
Exactly.
Yeah? And he'd been in the country less than 30 hours, less than 24 hours at that point. Yeah. All of a sudden, they have now conceded 2 goals in 10. They've beaten Liverpool at Anfield for the first time in 7 years at his first attempt with Chelsea. And they've beaten Atletico Madrid, who were top of the table in Spain. That is the same club with the same players. He spent no money that Lampard had in 10th, 2 points above us. They're now 10 points ahead of us. Yeah.
Having said that, Lee, at the moment, the way Liverpool are at the moment, the mess they're in at the moment, it's not their fault. They've had so many bad things go there wrong. I think we might have nicked something there. I'm not being funny. They're in a real state, Liverpool.
You wait till we play Liverpool. Right now, Liverpool get 3 points. I'll bet you 50 quid right now, they get 3 points.
Yeah, but let me say something, guys. If we want to talk about Liverpool, the reason why Liverpool in a bad state is because of their manager. He's stubborn. Yeah. He is stubborn, Klopp is. Everyone knows that when Liverpool played their best football, they had Fabinho.
Their squad, Kenny.
No, Klopp, it's not that. Mate. It's not that. Why are Liverpool playing Fabinho and Henderson in defence? What they need to do is, the reason why Liverpool played well is because they pressed from the midfield and pressed together from the front and allowed their fullbacks to bomb on, which means because they were on the ascendancy, that regardless of who they had at the back, they can still play the high line. They're not doing that anymore because the midfield that gives them their beef and pressure in the front, Fabinho and Henderson, were playing defence. Klopp's got a lot to answer for.
And Klopp brought 2 centre-backs. Don't forget that.
And he doesn't play them.
And he don't play him because he'd rather play his
It's on Klopp, mate.
Totally kills the middle of his team and totally kills the front 3. Yeah. He played such a high line yesterday against Timo Werner. It was scandalous. It's he's one of the quickest players in the league, so let's just sit on the halfway line and let him run in behind us every time.
Lee, you left something out. With that people pressing and trying to stop the diagonal long ball.
He then takes off Mohamed Salah, one of the top goal scorers in this league since he's landed back in this league. Yeah, he takes him off when they need a goal. What's that all about?
I always say he's a one-trick pony.
He's got one system, and that system doesn't work when the players are not in their right positions. It's like putting Hector Bellerin at left back to play. It's like putting Hector Bellerin at left back when you've got a left back on the bench. Yeah, it's like putting a right.
You lose half your squad like he has, mate. And look,
he hasn't lost half his squad.
He hasn't lost half his squad. He's just lost Virgil van Dijk.
2 centre halves, the 2 ones that were replacing them, had to go out and get an.
Yeah, and how many games have the 2 that he went out and bought in January played? How many times has he played them? He ain't. Apart from that Kabak lad, where's the one he bought from Rochdale or Preston or wherever it was? Has he actually played a game? Where's the young academy lad? Where's the young academy lad that got man in a match against Fulham on his debut? Yeah, where's he been since?
Williams. You mean Williams? Is it Phillips?
No, not Williams.
Phillips.
Phillips. Where's he been? Yeah, it's on Klopp.
It's all Klopp, mate. Klopp's messed it up,
has
mate.
decided to shoehorn in Thiago Alcantara into that team, yeah, and then instead of putting his centre backs that are maybe not the standard of the other centre backs, of course, but he's decided to go, well, I'm not going to go with them centre backs. I can't trust them, so I'll put Fabinho and Henderson in, and I'll put Thiago in and let him flop, yeah, which is to the detriment of their attack line, which means that when Salah gets the ball, he's getting it 10, 15, 20 yards deeper than where he'd normally get it. And same with I know Mane's missed a hatful of chances this season, yeah? But let's have it right here. They have still scored only 6 goals less than Man United, who piped Leeds 6 and piped Southampton 9. Yeah? And they've not been firing. Here he is. Look how late he is. And I think he's froze as well. He's froze. I think he's froze.
He's come back.
Well, I think it's the StreamYard, you know, because I'm having problems all afternoon with this. It keeps going on and off as well for me.
Yeah, he's froze.
No,
he's froze.
He's saying that. Why? If you've got a situation, right, because you lost your 2 centre halves, all of a sudden you stop doing the things that are good. What the hell? How are you going to press teams with Curtis Jones and Thiago and Ronaldo? It's not going to happen, mate. They're ballers.
But this is the process we're supposed to be copying, yeah? And this is what makes me laugh. The guy's been at Liverpool, what, 5-6 years? He's had 2 good seasons. He had the season where they won the Champions League, and they should have won the league that season. Man City just went mad and got 100 points. And then he had last season, which was one of the poorest Premier Leagues, which, by the way, our fans were calling it a tainted Premier League title because of the COVID situation. Does that make our FA Cup tainted then?
Yeah. Also, he doesn't want big squads, does he? And this is
the problem. When you're bringing on the likes of Shaqiri was shit at Stoke. Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, why did he even sign him? And his substitutes this year. When I realised that they had a bit of an issue was when they got piped 7 by Aston Villa because they were 4-0 or 4-1 at half time or whatever it was. Yeah. No, sorry, it went. I think it was 3-0 at half time, maybe. I might be wrong. But he was playing such a high line, and any manager in world football would have gone, right, just sit back. Let's not get embarrassed here because they got Ollie Watkins flying in. They got Grealish and they've got, what's his name? McGinn, and they've got Barkley just popping balls through the lines. And they sat that high lineup for the second half and they just got absolutely mullered. And I thought, you know what? You're a good manager. Don't get it twisted. But you're so cocky with it that you think that when you're 4-0 down or 4-1 or whatever it was, yeah, that you can then go out the second half and just go, yeah, well, we'll play the high line again. That don't work in this league this season. Yeah, it don't. You know, you can have your freak results. People will say, oh, it was a freak result. Well, the next week, I think Man City got slapped 6-2 and everyone was writing City off. Well, now they're not, are they? Because he's going to walk a fucking title. And this is what pisses me off with it, is the fact that I don't know what's going on with Chig. I can't get him in the stream, man. It keeps freezing every time he comes in. I don't know what's happened to him. But this is the thing. When are we going to go and pipe a team? You know what I'm saying? When are we going to actually go and slap 6 or 7 past the team? Because it's all well and good when Leicester do it, and when Tottenham do it to United, and when Aston Villa. Yeah, okay. Our biggest wins what 4-0 against West Brom. Yeah, West Brom are going to get relegated. When are we actually going to have the cojones to step up and say, right, it's about time we slap a big team? I don't think we'll ever see that under this manager. We might beat a big team. Yeah, like we beat Man United. We've beaten City in Wembley. Yeah, but I don't see us going and absolutely taking apart a big team because I don't think tactically this manager's good enough. I don't think he's got a system that works. I don't think he knows the system he wants to play. And if he does, he ain't got the personnel. He chops and changes the team every single week to the point where under his management, we've only played the same starting 11 in back-to-back games once. Yeah, in 3 years, not just under him, Emery and late Wenger were doing it as well. But for us to move forward and to progress, for me, we need a better manager. We need a solid system in place. And we need a set starting 11 with a couple of players that we know are going to come in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players after that can slot.
Are you boys encouraged by the Leicester performance, though? Wasn't that
you know what it's called, right? Getting back to I'm going to answer your question. I want to add two things that Lee says. And this is going to be controversial, Lee, but it's got to say it because what Arsenal need, just as much as the changes you've mentioned, we need a new right back, we need cover at left back, and we need a midfielder who's a playmaker. And we need a complete centre forward. None of this messing around that where we have a centre forward who doesn't like to play in the middle, or we have a centre forward who doesn't score enough goals. I want a complete centre forward. We get those four issues, and whoever's in charge recognises this, and I am a more experienced coach. We're moving, mate. We're moving. That's the only thing we need. Blatantly need. Those are the four issues. Or even the five. We're moving. Seriously, mate. That's where we need to strengthen.
But do you think he's the man to do that and take us forward once he gets them players? Because I do believe Bellerin's going to go this summer. I'm adamant he's going to fuck him off, which makes it even more worrying that he keeps playing him every week. Because if you're going to bin him, why would you keep playing him?
Yeah, because
he's not good enough.
The problem is that he's his first choice. But in terms of that, I think a more experienced coach, which is what we need in order to challenge, will recognise and follow something similar to my suggestions. I.e., they're surely going to identify the right back situation, identify Kieran Tierney's fitness to say, look, I need some cover. Look at the midfield and say, hang on here, I need a bit of Jane and say quiet. And look at the forwards and say, no, this ain't good enough. We want a complete forward summer. You know, we get that.
Who would you buy in those positions?
Right back. I'm looking at Max Aarons or Lamptey. The reason why I worry about Lamptey is height.
Yeah.
But defensively, he can't be turned. He can't be beaten. And obviously, offensively, attack-wise, he's brilliant going forward. Max Aarons, I think, it's a fuller package. In terms of like left back, I definitely want a left back that's covered for Tierney. You know, who like I said, who can come in and there's an awful lot left back. In terms of midfield, I still would like Aouar from Lyon. I still think that we should capitalise on the fact that the French Championship have lost their TV deal, and they're going to be out of money. And Lyon ain't in Europe, so they lost money. Let's go and nick him. And also, in terms of centre forward, there's an Arsenal player playing for Aston Villa. Let's have a go. Let's get him. Why not?
Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is quality. He runs the channels better than anyone in this league for me. Yeah, he works so hard for that team, which then opens up space for your likes of Barkley, your Grealish, your McGinns, Traore's, players like that. The way he runs that channel, and he's strong as an ox. He is fucking massive. Yeah, but here he is, talking of strong as an ox.
Oi, oi.
Where you been?
Oi, oi.
I'm sorry, fellas.
I'm asleep, innit?
No, work, brother. Work took over. Work takes over sometimes, man. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. You're here now. Anyway, we're just talking about our West Ham sat currently sixth ahead of us, how David Moyes has done that, where we need to strengthen. And, what do you think? How has Moyes got a shit squad and got them sixth with a game in hand to go fourth?
I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, the Moyes thing has a lot of people stumped because, you know, I think just when we kind of figured it out with West Ham and just when we figured it out with David Moyes and we thought he was of a certain level, all of a sudden, he's just got West Ham to play and play and play, and they're playing beyond themselves at the moment. And I'll be a little real with you. I kind of have a little soft spot for West Ham anyway, so part of me is a little bit happy for them, if you want me to be honest. Whereas our miserable selves, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing, you know, Kenny Ken talking about the sort of signings that we need. You know, people, for all intents and purposes, you don't need to even spend that much money. It just needs to be good recruitment. That's what it needs. You know,
Well,
we need to.
The players we can sell: Torreira, Guendouzi, Bellerin, Lacazette, Eddie Nketiah, Joe Willock, Maitland-Niles. That generates over £100 million.
But here's the thing, though, and this goes back to something that you've said, right? Would you, and let me ask you this question: would you accept us bringing in the players that we need, i.e., we need maybe 4 or 5 players to go back to a level where you would hope Arsenal would be, than trying to go and get a Jack Grealish, and trying to go, because those guys are so expensive that, yeah, all right, you might be able to secure one of them, but you're not securing your full shopping list in trying to.
Jack Grealish takes us up levels on his own because he's such a good footballer. His work rate is ridiculous off the ball as well. He does track back, does defend. But not only that, he can carry. Look at the way he bodied Bellerin the other week. It was embarrassing. But he travelled 80 yards up the pitch before he done it.
Brother, you know you're preaching to the choir. I've been spending the last 2 years.
I know what you're saying.
About Grealish.
Do you buy one big boy or five little guys?
I think for me personally,
because that changes the philosophy of this football club. Because you then go and buy a big boy footballer.
I'd rather for 5 hard workers. I'd rather 5 hard worker ants that's going to get us up that table than the superstar. We don't need superstars at the moment. We got to set the reality of where we are. We're flipping 10th, bro. 10th. Like before we start worrying about superstars, let's get ourselves back to a point where we can even attract them. never mind trying to get them. We've got to attract them first. And I think we need to be able to get ourselves back up to an acceptable level. And then you start looking for your Jack Grealishes, your superstars like that. Don't get me wrong, I would love him. Love him. But I just think for me personally, like, you know, somebody made a suggestion the other day about a good partner for Partey. Do you watch Fulham, don't you? You know, they got that central midfielder, in Gizzy. I think he's from like Cameroon. Andre Franco. There you go. That's the one.
Nguiza.
Of course, I should have asked Kenny Ken. He's the pronunciation guy, right? So, him, right? He, for me, would be perfect for, next to Partey. Nice little presence. We ain't been linked with him before. Fulham are likely going down anyway. You give him a little cool 15 million for him.
You say they're likely to go down. They're only 3 points off of getting out.
True. Yeah. Let me not write them off. You're right. Let me not write them off.
Newcastle, Burnley, and Brighton are right in that, by the way.
You're true. But
I want Burnley gone. I'm sick of the sight of Burnley.
Yeah, I would love Burnley to go down. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. Yeah, but offer them a cool little 15 million, and you just start building from there. You know, he's not this glamorous superstar that people are looking. He's not even Basuma, right? But at least he's someone who, you know, has Premier League experience.
Let me ask you, how much do you think Basuma would be then?
I think Brighton would be silly to let him go for less than 30.
Okay, so would you pay for Anguissa at 15 million, or would you go 30 million for?
I would rather Basuma. Don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to think outside the box. I'm trying to make use of. Let's just assume we have little money or we have very limited funds. Just try and look outside the box.
But why are we assuming that?
Because, brother, history repeats itself when it comes to Arsenal.
We've got £120 million loan we have to pay back, and we've lost about 60 million quid, this season. Yeah. So that's £180 million, yeah. But they're going to drop 3 brand spanking new kits, of which they're going to get a tiny 5% of the money that we sell them kits for, because they've already had the big change, yeah? Right? Then you've got all the other merch that they can put out there. Then you've got the season tickets for next season that they will renew, because fans are more likely to be going back to games next season, right? Which is then going to drive it up. You know for a fact that the fish and chips that cost $14.95 at the Emirates is now going to be $19.95, because they're going to want to recoup their money. Yeah, let's be real. A pint's £5. We know this, isn't it? It's £5.50 for a pint of warm beer. That's now going to be £6.50, £7.50. We already know, right? Then you've got Maitland-Niles, Willock, Torreira, Guendouzi, who's the other one? Nketiah. Yeah, just them 5 alone, we can get about 70 million quid for. Now adding Lacazette, yeah, we're talking 100 million quid here. Yes, you're not getting it in the big lump sum, But £100 million, let's say between all of them little deals, we're going to get 25 million of that up front. Yeah, that 25 million up front can now pay 10 million to go and buy this guy with a 3-year plan afterwards.
I would be shocked if Arsenal, and I'm going to prepare you for it now. I would be shocked if Arsenal said, "Oh yeah, let's sign off on letting go of Lacazette, Eddie Nketiah,
Well,
and
Balogun. They're into the last year of their contracts.
And Balogun, who, all right, granted, there's not a lot we can do about Balogun, but I'll be shocked if they decided to sign off on all three of them.
Lacazette is into the last year of his contract with Eddie Nketiah this summer. In 3 months' time, they're in the last year of their deal. So
this is Arsenal we're talking about here. Like I said, this is Arsenal we're talking about. I would be shocked if they decided to let all three of those guys go.
Do you know what? This guy just makes a great point about Ryan, yeah? Right. This is going to be our summer window, by the way. I'm going to call it now. Danny Ceballos, Matt Ryan,
I don't think
Matt Ryan, David Luiz, yeah, and we'll get Odegaard on loan again. That's it. That's also. I mean, we might.
I could definitely see Odegaard on loan again.
We might go and get a Lamptey or a Basuma and maybe a left back that's not all that. That's about 40. Yeah, that'll be our summer. I'm calling it now. That'll be our summer, and they'll dress it up because Lacazette has signed a new contract, and everything could be rosy in the garden again.
No, it won't. It won't. What will happen is that you'll be in the same situation you are by this time next March, where you're hoping, you're relying. Well, we probably won't be if we don't win the European Europa League. Then we're not going to be in Europe at all. So we'll have less.
We might be in the Conference League, the Europa Conference League. I don't know if you've heard about that one, Kenny. The Europa Conference League.
I have
the expert on this one, isn't you, Claude?
Oh my God! Have you seen this new thing that I can't believe it? We could be playing AFTV and DTFC in the Champions Conference League. I'm telling you, have you seen it? UEFA Conference League.
No.
Have you not seen it?
No.
Right? So basically, the fourth place team who finishes fourth in their Champions League group goes into this Conference League. The team who finishes third in their Europa League group stage goes in to this Conference League.
You can't be serious.
I swear, there's 185 teams that are going to compete in this competition over all angles.
Guys, can I just say something? Why don't you just why don't the clubs just go and form this Super League for the love of God, and just get your 390 million and be done with it? Because because UEFA are not fit to run our game if they're going to come at this. And also, what I really want is please, in order to stop UEFA from these stupid ideas, please let COVID be going. Let's have fans in 12 cities so UEFA can make their money and not come up with this crap.
Tig, I can't believe you've not heard
get the money.
I genuinely cannot believe you have not heard. Let me read this out to you just so you know, yeah, right? And anybody who's watching this who doesn't know. Who enters the UEFA Europa Conference League? It then says, in all, 184 teams over the course of the season, including at least one of each of the 55 associations and 46 clubs transferring from either the Champions League or the Europa League. Basically, if you finish fourth, I think it's fourth by what I'm looking at, yeah? It's a bit blurry, this picture, but I think if you finish fourth in your group stage in the Champions League, I think you go in to the into this, yeah? It says 17 teams from the UEFA Conference League will go in via main path. 5 teams from the UEFA Conference League Champions path. Don't know what that is. 10 teams eliminated from the Europa League playoffs. So if you don't qualify for Europa League via the playoffs, yeah, you get put in here.
Yeah, well, see, this is the problem. Yeah, you laugh and joke. This is going to be
in Albania.
You're going to be playing the champions of San Marino and things like that, man. It's going to be a fun. I don't want to be. Do you want to be going to games like that? I'm not being funny.
Me and Claude found this out the other day when we were doing your show, didn't we, Claude? Yeah, that this is actually exclusive rights from on BT Sport.
Jeez. I said, I know it should be on Quest TV, shouldn't it? That should be, on Quest TV. Yeah, well, you saw that Quest TV when it was doing instead of the panel, they have someone doing it in a workshop, didn't they? Remember that?
I remember that now you say it. Yeah. I remember that now you say it.
No panel, just a workshop. Someone doing something in a workshop. I mean, how was that all about?
Mad. It's mad. It's actually mad. But this is what they're trying to do. They're just trying to like, and this is the thing. They're lowering the standards of everything because at least we're in the. And the thing is, the winner of this qualifies for the Europa League the following season.
Oh, how gracious of them!
What the wonderful prize! You can qualify for the Europa League.
It's basically a losers league. That's what it is.
People used to say that the Europa League was a loser's trophy. I mean, that is the ultimate loser's trophy.
I'm not sure what day these games will be played on. In fact, should we see if we can find out? The first round of qualifying is on the 8th and 15th of July. Let's have a look at the dates on that. Yeah. Cool. Then, the knockout rounds is the 17th of February next year. Let's have a look. If it's on a Thursday, I'm going to wet myself fucking laughing.
Can you say no, thank you?
It's
on, accidentally qualified for it.
Thursday. It's on a Thursday.
So what will we be playing? FC Tirana, Cannon Beef. Who else
4-4, Arsenal 5.
You could be playing. Who else could we be playing? We could be playing old Runeson's old club as well, couldn't we?
It's mad. Basically, I don't know how you qualify. Let's see how we qualify, like out of the league.
If we finish lower than 8th, we're in it. We're in it, mate.
Look at this. It says, "Why is it being introduced?" Fucking hello, for money.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but you say that.
Money.
Who's going to pay to watch that? No one's going to pay.
If you got a BT Sports subscription, you watch it anyway, didn't you? The final has only got 21,600 capacity.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah. The competition will run throughout 2021 to 2024 cycle at least. So we have got this for the next 2 to 3 seasons at least.
So what? Has it been signed off? It's not a concept.
Yeah, it's signed off. It starts next season, mate.
Oh my gosh! What UEFA?
Yeah, we're in that because if we're not in the top 6, we're in that. We're in it.
Mate. So no, genuinely, you can't say no, thank you, because I would rather our players don't suffer injuries to that type of bullshit.
Yeah, listen to this. Yeah, right. It'll be split between 2 time slots, which are 6:45 Central Eastern Time.
Oh,
I'm assuming that CET means Central Eastern Time or Central European Time, isn't it? Central European Time. Is that right?
No.
CET?
I was laughing because I thought it was a joke. I thought it was just a concept. I thought it was a concept. I didn't realize it was an actual signed off thing.
Okay, so Central European Time. Yeah, this is the times it's kicking off. Yeah, it'll kick off at 9 o'clock. So that's 8 o'clock our time. I'd imagine. Is that right? Yeah, and 6:45. Oh, hang on. No longer. No, that is us. So it's a 9 o'clock kickoff and 6:55s.
Oh
We're part of Central Europe, right? Is that right? My geography is not great, lads. So help me out here.
Well, we're Western Europe, aren't we? So
Central Europe would be an hour ahead of us. So it's kicking off at 6:55 and 7 p.m. Sorry, and 8 p.m.
So what it is now, basically. Okay.
It then says, how do you qualify from your league? I want to see how you qualify from your league. It doesn't tell me.
Oh man! So you have
it's like the Johnson Paint Trophy, isn't it? All over.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what we should do. Send our under 21s to it. Send our under 21s.
The access list. Here we go. Let's have a look at the access list. Let's have a look at the access. Let's have a look. Right. So where's England? How do we qualify?
You may as well send the under 23s. It'll be a good experience for them.
Where are we? England. Right. It doesn't tell me. So 6. Hang on. It says N5 and CW. I don't know what that is, but it says 6 UEFA Champions League, LPPO and qualification 3. I have no idea what that means. It then says 4 UEFA Champions League. I don't get it. It's all in letters.
Anyone from 7th to 10th will be on it, innit? 7th to 10th, because they want everyone to be in Europe next season.
I'm not sure. I don't think it does cover. I don't think it covers the 10th place. I think you have to win the League Cup. I see something the other day. I'm sure you have to win the League Cup.
Yeah, that's it. League Cup win.
Yeah, but if you don't, if a team that wins the League Cup has already qualified for Europe, then that offers it up to 7th place in the league or 8th place in the league or something. Yeah. We definitely need to not be in this.
If Tottenham win the League Cup, they're in it.
So let's not ever win the League Cup then.
Well, we can't win the League Cup. Tottenham and Man City are in that one. It's mad. I'm baffed. I genuinely don't get it. There you go. It's 5:45 kickoffs and 8 p.m.
I reckon Arsenal charge a £5 for that one. £5 a game for that. £5.
Could you imagine if we actually get in it? Could you actually imagine the banter of a rival fans if we actually end up in this competition?
Yeah.
We're going to be in the fucking losers league, mate. It's mad. We used to be Champions League, by the way. Yeah. We're now Europa League. We could be loser league.
Yeah. We're BTEC Europa League now.
It's fucking mad. I'm not sure, but I think that if the team that wins the League Cup, that then, if they're then obviously qualified for Europe, that then opens it up to the 7th or 8th place team. One of whichever. I'm sure it said 7th, but I'm thinking about it. It might have said 8th.
I can see Kenny Ken's licking his lips and that.
You know the thing about
I can see he's pissed. I can see he's pissed.
You know the problem is that the other day, as long as I've remembered, I've watched football. It's always about revenues, and the more matches you have, the more revenue you're going to get, and that's the thing. The problem is the problem with UEFA and all our leagues. TV, they know TV is a sure thing. TV are one of the reasons why we have more matches. As long as you've got Sky Sports, BT Sports, you've got all the channels in in Ireland. You've got Radio Televisión. I think they've got something like Satanta. You've got Optus in Australia, and all these channels willing to pay the bucks. Then we'll have more matches. We'll have more tournaments like this. You've got to realise the real reasons, right? Another reason as well. You remember those lucrative those lucrative summer tours? We're not going them because of COVID. So clubs have got to make their money somehow, and that's why we're going to get rubbish like this.
Also, if you're a Sky Sports holder, you probably had this brilliant email the other day to tell you that your bill's going up for the next month. So this is all to pay for this type of crap. It's all to pay for it.
And that's the thing.
Go on.
The problem is that the armchair fan is basically the best customer for any football club.
Not
100%. The reason why is because that Sky and BT believe that they'll put their money in the coffers, and trust me, all these like chip boxes and blah blah, all these other things. I'm sure Sky are taking their cut from all of that as well. So they're still paying Sky and BT.
It's mad. It's absolutely mad. There you go. Look at this. Big up to Joel Paul. He says 3 teams can enter the UEFA Conference League from Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Who qualify? I don't know who qualifies. I think that the 4th place team in Champions League in their group gets in it. Some of the qualification rounds for Europa League, if they don't get in it, then they qualify for this one.
And that's brilliant for them, but why are they involving us in that? It should literally be like the John Payne trophy. This shouldn't have anything to do
in English clubs. Man said
it's the Europa version of a non-league cup.
but Chick, the thing about it is that English clubs and English players sell, innit? Yeah, Dave. If you want to watch, if you're trying to sell this competition abroad, especially to like I said, untapped countries,
that. You know what? They didn't do themselves any favour naming it the conference either.
Yeah, true.
That's not something, isn't it?
Yeah, but the conference means like Vauxhall Conference, like.
You know what I mean? If they titled it better, it would have been much.
Yeah, they could have dressed it up as.
It might have pulled a few more people, but that putting conference there, mate. God.
Smash the likes through the roof, everyone. Make sure you follow me on Discord as well. We're going to wrap this up in a second.
Oh, by the way, By the way, guess who's at a FIFA conference deciding on what the VIR technology on?
Oh, let me guess. Is it Arsene?
Arsene Wenger.
Oh, don't so.
Jesus Christ.
Well, why do you look at me?
Hey, Lee, don't you dare. No more, Lee, because I don't want any more. Lee, I'm not too funny. We can't keep on resurrecting you from the dead after you've been publicly executed.
You know.
Stop. Nope, not on my watch, mate. I can't. No mimicking of Arsene Wenger.
After me. Go on,
Kenny,
Kenny.
I've got to be careful. Apparently, I've got a hitman after me, mate.
Look, we'll discuss this in
I've got a
private.
hitman. So you
We're discussing
employed a hitman.
Kenny's called timeout. We're discussing this in the group.
That's into the group. Keep it private. Do not give people ammunition. Stop.
Oh.
Big up to everybody who's still watching. There's still 600 people watching. Make sure you smash the likes up. Make sure you follow all of the guys. Their links are in the description. Kenny's Insta's in there. His Claude's channel's in there. Chig's channel's in there. And I'll be back again at 9 o'clock tonight. Man said it sounds like Champions League side chick.
Not even.
No,
Sounds
you're
like
right.
Europe's League slashing.
None of that.
Big
Well,
up.
stop.
But we're gonna get ourselves out of here.
By the way, before you go, what about that magnificent 100 today by that guy? What a great innings!
We don't talk about cricket on this channel, mate. So
I will say it's turning into a good little test match, so I'm enjoying it.
I haven't watched it. I can't watch a game. I can't watch a game play for 5 days and end up drawing, mate. You can play for 5 days, it can be a draw. I'm sorry. No.
Lee, cricket is a very civilized game. It's a gentleman's game.
It's a gentleman's game. That's what I was going to say. I was literally about to say the same thing.
Oh, dear.
Actually, don't get arguments on Twitter about it either, do you? Don't get.
Maybe we should. Maybe
I've got a lot of friends from Pakistan and India, and they go at it, mate, about the cricket. Trust me.
Maybe we should start a cricket fan TV, lads. What do you reckon?
Yeah,
you watch. And suddenly about 10 channels follow. Like, oh, we're diversifying.
Boxing channel.
Big up to everybody who has watched. Big up to Kenny, always looking out for me. My bodyguard, as always.
Lee,
you need one, mate.
Lee, can you just promise me one thing, right? Can you go 2 weeks without winding up the Arsenal fan base, please?
No chance.
No, because they're so highly strung. They're so highly strung, and they take themselves so seriously that it's actually hilarious to watch.
I'm gonna tell him to do it next year for Lent. You cannot wind up the Arsenal fan base.
Yeah, it's like
you still got a bit of Lent left because Easter has happened, so you still got a few.
True.
You still got
a couple of weeks. Yeah,
you still got about 14 days of Lent.
Yeah.
Oh man, you lot are mad. Listen, we're gonna wrap this up.
I'll tell you what, Wimbledon don't have as much grass as Twitter, does it?
Well, that's true. That's very true. Hey, listen, I need to be careful. People were tagging Interpol yesterday and all them ones. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right, mate. Well, my account's never been suspended, and it ain't going to be anytime soon. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Chig, I know you turned up late. I know you were working. Big up to you. I know a lot of people have been asking where Afsal and Zach are as well. Zach and Afsal are very busy people. They have jobs.
Still in the playground fighting.
We're leaving. See you later.